The Foo Fighters. Popular history traces the beginning of the modern UFO phenomenon to the summer of 1947, when an Idaho businessman, Kenneth Arnold, saw 9 mysterious, silvery, crescent-shaped objects arranged in a crescent shape and resembling plates gliding over water, flying in formation around Mount Rainier in Washington state. But several years earlier, at the height of World War II, similar flying saucers were intercepted by aircrews of both Allied and Axis forces during the Pacific campaigns. On the Allied side, these night lights and discs visible in daylight were known as Foofigbters, Foo Fighter bombers, named after the popular cartoon character who always muttered, "Where there's a foo, there's fire." Foo, of course, was a play on the resonance of the French feu, meaning fire. The most well-documented sighting of a Foo Fighter occurred on Black Wednesday, October 14, 1943, when a U.S. Air Force B-17 Flying Fortress suffered disastrous human casualties during a daylight air attack on the well-defended Schweinfurt ball-bearing factories. Historian Martin Kaidin called it one of the most puzzling episodes of World War II and an enigma that remains unsolved to this day. When the 384th Bombardment Squadron had concluded its raid against the target, several pilots and gunners in the disheveled formation detected the presence, ahead of them, of small silver discs. Plane number 026, in an attempt to avoid a head-on collision, immediately proceeded to correct its course, but it was too late. According to the authorities' report, the bomber's right wing went straight through a group of these discs without sustaining the slightest damage to the engines or the plane itself. The pilot added that he heard one of the discs hit the tail, but there was no explosion or damage. The discs were accompanied, at a distance of 5 or 6 meters, by several clusters of black debris from 1 meter to 1 meter and 20 meters long. They, too, did not appear to have any adverse effects on the flying fortresses. The report also noted that 2 other planes had flown through the formation of discs, apparently without sustaining damage. Foo Fighters were also seen as night lights with an orange, red, or white halo. On the night of November 23, 1944, for example, a 3-man crew of the 415th Night Fighter Group encountered about 10 of these mysterious globes above the Rhine, north of Strasbourg. They looked at first like distant winking stars, reported counterintelligence Lieutenant Fred Ringwald, but within minutes they became the orange balls that moved through the air at incredible speed. Another B-17 pilot, Charles Odom of Houston, recounted after the war the experience he had with Foo Fighters in broad daylight. The flying plates, he said, looked like crystal balls, about the size of basketballs. They seemed to be magnetized by our formation and flew alongside us. After a while, they began to separate as if they were airplanes and drifted away.